Hello again guys, and welcome back to Civilization 5, playing as Germany. We are still working towards that cultural victory, and I'm going to start by clicking the next turn button, and try and make sure that this video doesn't end up going on for about an hour like the last one did, but hopefully still make it quite a productive one. So, we've got our great scientist here, who we were moving over to one of these hexes to build an academy, but I don't remember which one. I'm sure we'll find out as soon as the AI resolves all of its turns. World's busiest people. Which I think is us. Only just. The Incans have got an awful lot of production going on. Japanese are currently at the bottom. Okay, so that gives us a few more wonder options there. We can now research a new technology. So let's have a look at that first and find out what the best thing to do would probably be. We are getting a little bit behind here. I think the important thing for us actually to do probably before anything else... Camp Guardian. We don't have that many camps. We don't have any polders, because we're not playing as Holland. Trading posts we only have a few of. We probably should go for industrialization at some point. And the windmill is also nice to have. But I think what we actually need is navigation, because we need some better ships. We also need archaeology, because archaeology allows us to construct archaeological digs and reveals the antiquity sites. It also allows us to build the Louvre, which would be brilliant, because 4 great works or artifact slots, and you get a free great artist as well. So that's definitely worth having. And again, we can then build the museums, which give us extra culture. So we really do have to go for archaeology. I think that has to be our primary concern next. A unit needs orders. These settlers, we were moving them down here. And I think I am going to drop them on this hill, just to give them a bit more of a defensive bonus and also stifle the advancement here of the Iroquois. Apologies for my voice today. I feel a little bit croaky. I think I've got a bit of a cold, so do my best to try not to cough and sneeze into the microphone while we continue. I suppose we may as well move down to this tile here that we've recently expanded into. That will allow us to build a trading post or a sawmill, because of course it is a jungle and we don't want to remove it because we get the science bonus for it at our science city. These are the miners that we're going to connect up that silver. So we should have then an extra one to trade. Now it wants to go to next... Well, actually, let's hit next turn, because it should still come up with a unit needs orders now because of that great scientist. So that obviously was the hex we were going to do it on. So if we did pop this scientist would give us 935 research. But if we build an academy, the academy will give us 8 research. And there's 250 turns left to go. So that would technically be another, what, 2,000 research? Or is my maths totally wrong? My maths is awful today. Actually, no, that's not true. My maths is awful on most days. It's just today it actually works. But yeah, it'd be 2,000. So if I construct an academy and get 8 science per turn, and the game continues for another 250 turns, that would give me 2,000 research. But if I pop him now, he's only worth 935. Now, of course, the game could end in 50 more turns, and then it wouldn't be quite as valuable. But let's remember that 8 science per turn is also increased by our modifiers at Hamburg. Now, I don't think it's currently being worked. City management. Oh, it is. Yeah, we went up from 118 to 132. So we actually got an improvement of 14. Was it 14? No, 12. Yeah, 14. So the reason for that, of course, is we get 8 science from it as a base figure. But we also get, look, city modifier, 83%. So we got our 8 science per turn from that tile, but then we get an additional 83% of that for the various upgrades and wonders that we have going on in this city. And there's quite a few tiles here that do actually provide science that we're not currently working. I mean, we're not working some of these trading posts either. I don't think we need the production focus anymore here. We're going to go for the food focus and try and increase the population in Hamburg. It's quite a nice city because it has a lot of land around it. Now, obviously there are always going to be some tiles that you just can't work with your population. For example, you can't work mountains because they're impassable. So there's 2 hexes that I'll never have to work. But you imagine that a city can work all of the tiles within a 3 hex radius. So you've got the inner 6 tiles, then you've got the next radius, and then you've got the third radius. And if you add all of those tiles up, it's 32 tiles. Which means in order to work every single tile within that radius, you'd need a population of 32. Because obviously you still work the C tiles as well. But then that's not counting your specialists, because I've also got 4 specialist slots in this city. So that would essentially be 36. So in order to work every tile, plus all of my specialist slots, I'd need 36 population. Obviously, can't work these 2 tiles, so that would take it down another 2. And some of these tiles belong to other civilization. But in general, if it was a perfect world and you had like Berlin has every single tile within its radius. There's only 1 tile within its radius it cannot work, which is this one because it is a mountain. So technically it would need 31, because we don't need the mountain, 31 people to work all of them, and then an additional 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it would need 39 people to work every single tile and all of its specialist buildings, and it only has 16. So it's not even halfway to being a full city. So that's enough of me waffling on. Let's move on to the next turn. But just what I'm trying to get at is it's very, very difficult for even a large city to work every single tile it has access to. Which means sometimes it is actually worth putting cities closer together so they can actually share tiles in some respects. And we see that China has gone to war with Carthage, which is very, very interesting. One thing I will show you, though, of course, if we look here, Berlin, if we look at this hex where this trading post is within 3 hexes of Berlin, but it's also within 3 hexes of Hamburg. Now, if we actually look at that, we can see it's not actually being worked by Hamburg at the moment, but we do have the icon above it to work it from Hamburg. But if we move up to Berlin, we can see that again Berlin isn't working it. Now if we were to tell somebody in Berlin to work this hex, and then we were to go down, that's not even the right hex, as it was that one. Let's uncheck that. If we were to tell someone in Berlin to work this trading post, and then we were to go down to Hamburg, you'll now see that it has this little icon here, which tells us that the other city is working it, and if we were to click that, then we can work it at this city. But we don't need to. I'm going to leave it on default. It's now actually on an unemployed citizen. I'll just go back to food. Well, actually, that's now... where should we put you? Let's just do it manually and get things sorted out. What is going to benefit us the most here? Think we will go for the trading post, because it gives us production and it gives us gold as well. So everyone should be happy with that. I should stop messing around with things like that. Okay, Munich has finished its Hansa, hopefully. And the next thing to do, probably... we really need to get the Taj Mahal up and running. And the Uffizi, actually. They're both... The Taj Mahal is nice because it gives us a golden age and it gives us happiness. And happiness is always worth having. Although the Uffizi does give us more culture and some great work slots. And gives us a free artist. Probably should build the Uffizi first, to be honest. We are going to go for the zoo here. Just to get some additional happiness. We don't have happiness problems now. But I'd prefer to build them while I can. Because I do intend to drop a settler here. And that will... drop my population. No, sorry, not drop my population. Drop my happiness because of the increased population is what I meant to say. So basically, every single person you have in your empire is 1 unhappiness. Because according to the Civlopedia, a living person is an unhappy person. Okay, he wants to continue buying salt for me. Fine, we'll do that. So yeah, so for every one person you have one unhappiness. And I think you also get an extra... It's either 3 or 6 unhappiness for every extra city you have. Rome wants to go towards with Carthage. Now, I shouldn't do that because I'm actually friends with Carthage. So what I'm going to do is... I'm not going to get involved with that. But if we actually look here, I don't think they've actually... Yeah, they're not too bothered now, but the problem we might have later is when our friendship with Dido expires, if we renew it, then we could lose a bit of reputation with China and Rome. Because both China and Rome have now gone to war with Carthage, and if we publicly say, yep, we're friends with Carthage, it doesn't look good on us. So when that declaration of friendship with Carthage ends, it might be the sensible political thing to not renew it. Because China and Rome are definitely the biggest powers at the moment, and I'd rather not enter into a war with them. So we have enough culture for another social policy. +1 gold for each harbour, seaport, and lighthouse, and 4 production and 4 culture in the city with the East India Company. Well, we haven't built the East India Company yet, but it is kind of the next thing on my list. Now, China's also gone to war with the Iroquois. That is very interesting, because the only things they've got near each other, as far as I can see, are these 2 cities here. No, Hiratha has declared war. So it's actually the Iroquois have declared war on China. So China are probably going to end up losing this city. It's not going to bother me whether it belongs to the Iroquois or whether it belongs to China, to be perfectly honest. Although, of course, them having more cities isn't necessarily a good thing, whichever way you look at it. Okay, I'm starting to run out of hexes that are worth upgrading with a work. I'm going to send you guys up here. It's going to take you a while to get there, but it's 4 turns where I won't have to bother telling them what to go and do while everybody shuffles around. And we have actually... she's opening her borders for salt. We'll carry on with that. We've also expanded our borders now into this hex, which is good, because that'll keep him away a little. Let's go for the research agreement with the Incans. We've got no issue with them. The Incans seem to be generally loved by everybody, and we certainly have enough gold to be able to do that. Citrus for salt, yep, we'll carry on doing that. Now, one thing I want to do before I pop down that next and what should be my final city is just have a quick look and see how close we are to finishing our current production in Berlin. We're actually 2 turns away. Oh, so that is the East India Company. So what would happen now is if I actually went down here and settled that settler and built a new city, Berlin would stop producing the East India Company because the East India Company requires me to have a market in all cities, and I'd have a city without a market. So I should let that complete first, then put the other one down. I could also build the well, I can't build the Hermitage because we still don't have opera houses elsewhere, and we still don't have a Colosseum at Cologne. Although we don't really need the Circus Maximus at the moment. We'll save that for later on when we've got less stuff that we need to build. So you are going to sleep for a turn or 2. You are protected by the crossbowmen, so that's very good for us. So let's go on to the next turn. This is the problem. Oh, another research agreement. Yeah, why not? It's only money. We are making 84 gold per turn. Himeji Castle, which I don't think I was planning to build, so I'm not too bothered about that. Yeah, it's a weird thing with this game. If you've got the mouse near the... Because I'm using push scrolling. If you've got the mouse near the edge of the screen when it's somebody else's turn, the screen just starts to scroll uncontrollably in one direction. Okay. Once again, it is my turn. A unit needs orders. I thought I told them to sleep, so I don't know why they've just woken up. Maybe they are asleep. Right, okay. Unit needs orders. Cargo ship. Where were you trading before? With Cusco. Now, one of their cities still doesn't have my religion yet. I think it's their capital, actually. As you can see, we have a lot more options where we can trade with our cargo ships than we ever did with our caravans. Now, I'm going to continue trading with Cusco for now, just because it's a lot of gold. I do want to try and remember the bonus for the Hansa. I can't remember at the moment. So 5% production for each trade route between our civilization and a city-state. So that's just any trade route. And 1 extra gold for the city owner, and the trade route owner gains additional 1 gold for trade routes with other civilizations. Okay, I was just checking because I know there are some bonuses like that that specifically apply to caravans or cargo ships. This one applies to trade routes, so it doesn't matter whether it is to with caravans or whether it's ships. So I should build another cargo ship, trade with another city-state, and then that will give me an extra 5% production here, which would be wonderful. Let's go for trading posts. I don't think we need the extra production here. It will be nice to get the extra gold. It's a bit pointless anyway, because of course we don't actually have enough people to work all of these tiles. We need to build a farm there. Maybe that's where those guys were going in the first place. I do have a habit of sending workers to places and then actually forgetting to do anything with them. That, of course, is also within 3 hexes, so we'll build something there. That caravan has finished whatever that was doing. It was going to Singapore, so we can carry on with that. Or we could potentially get a bit more gold by trading with the Iroquois and put our religion on them. What pressure are we getting back from them? We're getting 6 pressure from them. We've got 1 follower of Buddhism, but they're not going to flip the city. So let's try putting a bit more pressure on them. Now, I know we're losing a little bit of production there because we're not trading with another city-state. But again, this is part of the way that the German civilization has been designed in this game. It has been designed to be more of a military victory civilization, which means they expect that you're going to be trading primarily with civ states, not with other civilizations. But that should mean now that yeah, look at that. He's actually got 30 pressure of his own religion, and he's actually got 60 pressure from my religion, so we could well flip that over, and that would be a good thing. Certainly give us a cultural boost against him anyway. You want me to give you 15 gold a turn for 30 turns? I'm going to say no, because obviously they want it for their war efforts. They're at war with what do you want? Well, I haven't become friends with Carthage. We have been for quite some time. So, yeah, it's because Carthage are at war, and they probably want the gold for building units and stuff like that, but I've got no interest in funding their little skirmish. We're going to leave that one well alone. East India Company should now be produced for us. Indeed, it has been. So the first thing we're going to do is go and find that settler. And we are going to go pop and put up Frankfurt, which instantly stops the Iroquois from expanding anymore in this direction. Do I have a worker down here still? No, I do not. I am, however, going to... Do I upgrade this brute to a swordsman? Probably should, and I'm going to bring him up here for a bit of extra protection. Frankfurt is going to start by building a monument, because it's +2 culture, so, you know, why wouldn't you? Production at Berlin. 13 turns for the Uffizi. We should definitely go for that first. Production somewhere else. Hamburg. Right, is it worth building any of these? It is worth building the observatory, because guess what? The observatory is going to give me an extra 50% science. So the science output in this city is going to be insane. You guys have got here, you were just literally building that road so we could get to and from the mountain, and you have done that nicely. So why don't you go over here and build a farm when you've got some movement left. You guys... Yeah, this is a good thing. Now, what I've said before, and I still stand by it, sometimes it is pointless upgrading every single tile around the city when the city doesn't have anywhere near enough workers to be able to work all of those tiles. However, what's going on here? It is quite useful to be able to have those tiles, so if you want to switch your focus between, say, food and production, if you've got a population of 15-ish, and you've got about 15 food tiles, and you've got about 15 production tiles, then if you switch between food and production, you're basically switching almost the entire tile set. So it is worth, in some instances, actually upgrading more tiles than you can work at any one time, because it gives you choice. Rome is happy that we proposed the World Fair. Okay, so he wants silver for gold and embassy. Not bothered about your embassy. Will you give me 6 gold per turn? Yes, he will. Okay, that's fine. Whenever it's things like, I mean, embassies does increase the spying potential. That's certainly true. But, I mean, he was offering an embassy in his capital. I prefer, whenever it's things like open borders and embassies, I always prefer to go mutual, which means, we swap open borders for open borders. And it can be a little bit silly. I mean, certainly when you're playing a cultural victory, I'd prefer if the other people opened their borders and I didn't have to. But what we're going to do now, it's always worth having an embassy. I'm going to propose a mutual embassy, and there's hardly ever an instance where the AI will decline a mutual embassy. In fact, I think there's hardly ever an instance where a player would decline a mutual embassy. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to continue with production, because let's remember that because all of our trade routes go to Berlin, that if we actually have lots of trade routes from Berlin with other city-states, then we get 5% production increase for each one from the Hansa. So the more production tiles we have, the more base production we've got to get that increase on. So that is my plan. Am I going to move you guys up? Don't think you need to right now, so I'm going to leave you on defending. Another unit needs orders. Okay, now we're in a little bit of a situation now, because there isn't an awful lot that these guys can actually do that's going to be useful. Not an awful lot that's really worth upgrading. I'm going to go over here onto this stone. I'm assuming that's where we're going to expand. Oh no, we're not even expanding in that direction. That seems very strange. But I want to try something. Something I think I can do, but I'm not 100% sure. We're going to build a farm here. Get some more food. Hopefully get some more growth going on. And let's get on with the next turn. So there's quite a bit of shuffling at the bottom of the scoreboard. We've still got Rome and China pretty much tied for second place. They're very close. Got to keep my eye on the Songhai, because they were the ones that were closest to my tourism output. Well, it's like Singapore have got, are those knights or lancers? Kill the Japanese spy. Isn't that amazing? Oh, they are knights, yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Decided to let your transgression slide this time. I did go to war with him twice. So, and at least now he's lost his spy, so that's good. That's good enough for me. Not an awful lot that we can do on this turn at all, really. So let's just go on to the next turn. Let some units shuffle and jiggle around. New research agreement between Carthage and the Inca. Well, that's hardly surprising, because both of those wanted research agreements with me. We seem to have this little trio of friendship. Yeah, I forgive you, because that will go towards... see, you forgave them for spying. Doesn't really... see, they have some early concerns about my warmongering. They don't seem to have any concerns with the fact that I've actually directly declared war on them twice and killed one of their settlers and destroyed one of their cities. Not bothered about that. They're just bothered that I'm warmongering maybe a little bit. Okay, unit needs orders. Who needs orders? You need orders now. It is still outside of my territory. I know there are some upgrades you can do outside your territory. What I want to do is bring these workers back, because there's nothing up here useful that they can do. So what I'm going to do is buy that tile, just so that I can get them to build the quarry. That's the last upgrade here that is really useful to them, unless I build mines here for production increase, but it's not really worth it. So I'm going to build this quarry here, and then I'm going to bring them back, because they're completely useless at the moment. The Inca seem to be taking a bit of an interest here, unless they're off somewhere else, but I'm not sure what they're doing, to be quite honest. Keep my eye on them. Friendly trade route plundered. How brilliant. Oh, okay, but it wasn't mine. It was a trade route between my city and the Iroquois. But it was the Iroquois trade route, not mine, and it was plundered by China, so that's fine. The Romans have now also declared war on Carthage. Not looking good for you, Dido. I mean, I like your music, but I don't think you're going to win this war. So let's have a look what else is going on. I wanted to have a quick look at the victory status, or at least the influence by player. So, we are still exotic with China and the Songhai. Why am I only exotic with the Songhai? They do have quite a lot of culture output, I suppose. We do have adjusted tourism with Japan. Japan, we're popular. You know, we're almost influential. When you get to influential, which is 100%, you notice you see these accrued benefits. So you do get extra things like additional science, and spies have better chances for things like that. Once you get to influential, that is essentially a victory over that civ, 100%. Now, there is one beyond influential, which is dominant. We may even end up with that. The Inca, we're rising slowly. Rome, we're rising slowly. Carthage, we're doing quite well against as well. Let's just have a look at the Songhai. Although tourism's only 10 now, I think we're actually doing quite well there. And they're actually falling with the Inca, rising slowly with everybody else. And nobody can touch me. We're still actually unknown. They are at 7.8% influential, but that's absolutely nothing. So I'm generally happy with that, how that is going. I think we should be okay. Right, Carthage and the Iroquois now, friends. I guess that does make sense because the Iroquois are friends with the Inca, and also the Iroquois are at war with China, who Carthage are also at war with. So there's kind of some alliances being made here that we can see going on. And we've now found Krakatoa. It's not obviously going to be anywhere that we can work. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in a city-state's borders as well. Oh no, wow, actually isn't. That's about the first natural wonder on this map that isn't in a city-state's borders. Very unusual. Okay, Frankfurt has adopted a religion, and wonderfully enough, it is mine. They do need to build something now. We have our shrine. Not the shrine, sorry. We have the monument. So what are we going to build here next? I guess the first thing to do probably would be the harbour and get the city connection up and run. Actually, no, we'll go for the granary first. Let's get it growing somewhat. We are going to need a worker, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to... No, I'm not. What am I doing? I've got loads of workers. It can wait for a few turns until one of the other workers is free. I've got so many of them. That would be absolutely stupid. What are we going there? We don't need a constabulary. We don't need any of these wonders. Do you know what I could do? Is I could actually just build the worker here. That probably makes more sense. Let's build a worker here. I know I was going to bring one of those other workers down, but it'll take them like 5 or 6 turns. I might as well just create a new one and then sell another one. So you want to give me 1 gold per turn to open my borders. I'm going to go with no. How about no? Because, you know, you've declared war on me once. And the only reason you haven't declared war on me a second time is because you know that this little army here is going to absolutely beat the snot out of you should you try anything. Okay, we've now discovered navigation, which is really good. We've got a new production opportunity at Cologne. Not an awful lot we can do here that is all that useful, to be honest. We should probably get the mint. Mind you, yeah, the mint. Each source of gold and silver produces an extra +2 gold. So let's get the mint going here. And you guys... So 3, that's too far out of range. It definitely is, isn't it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what am I going to do with you guys? I think what I'm going to do with you guys is I'm actually going to... disband you. Get 17 gold back and save about 4 gold per turn in maintenance upkeep because we're building another worker somewhere else where we need one. What I am going to do is I am going to take all of these units now and all the ones that can be upgraded are going to get an upgrade. Now it's cost me a fair bit of money, but I do have to be careful of him trying something on. He probably won't at the moment because he's currently at war with China. And as you can see, Hangzhou is actually taking some damage. Mutual open borders with the Inca, which I think we already... Did we not already have that going? I don't mind anyway. That's it's beneficial to me. So yeah, China could well end up losing this city, although China's a big power. And if she decides she's going to push back against the Iroquois, that could end badly for the Iroquois. The only thing he's got going for them is that China are actually so far away with all of their other cities. Frankfurt has grown. A city connection has been established now between Cologne and Berlin, so that's going to help things out. This would be an absolutely amazing map to go for a domination type victory with somebody with a good navy. I mean, maybe again, even somebody like the British, because, well, the English. Because the English actually have +2 movement to their naval vessels, and if you can build the Great Lighthouse before anybody else, you have 3 movement. And then if you've got the Ship of the Line, which is an upgraded frigate, which can literally take on like 3 or 4 of the ships and still come out on top. I might even do that one day. Just not do it random. Just pick an archipelago style map, pick the English, and go for a naval domination victory, because that would just be hilarious on a map like this. So all these guys are now going to say they need orders, because obviously I've disturbed them all. So I'll just put them back on to sleep mode. There isn't an awful lot now this worker can do either. He's pretty much upgraded everything that he can upgrade. We're not really going to be claiming any extra lands that we can do anything with either. I'm just having a look around. There's no real point in sending them anywhere. These guys are going to do that hex because they'll get there quicker than anybody else. I don't want to get rid of them, so I'm just going to park them on top of the academy there and put them to sleep. We could also come down here and just whack a giant fort right on the Iroquois' doorstep and just go, come at me, but I don't think we will. These guys have finished whatever they were doing as well. I think the same thing is going to... Actually, we'll get the horses. Now, again, the hex is too far away to work, but we will actually get the horses for doing it. You guys are going to go back onto alert. And you guys are going to go back onto alert. And I've just realised I didn't upgrade the ones that are in the city. And these workers have now also finished what they're doing. So you can see, even though I don't have my workers on automated, I've actually been, you know, doing everything manually with them. But I mean, that's it now, really. They've pretty much upgraded everything of use. I'm going to pull you back, though. Of course, there will be things later on when we get to, like rail, for example. They can go and start replacing roads with rail. But the thing you'll find when you actually put your workers on automated is generally they just start building roads everywhere. Not so much of a problem on this map type, of course, because, well, you can't really road to anywhere. There's only 2 cities we've got that are actually in a position to be connected by roads. And that's only because Hamburg is the only city we've got that isn't actually on the coast. Everything else is going to be linked up using harbours. So just having a quick scan around just to see if there's anything interesting going on. I think we're going to be fairly good. Killed an Iroquois spy, hardly surprising. He's discovered a barbarian encampment. Quite a lot of barbarians there, not my problem. Since when has he been friendly? You have been at war in the past, but they do not seem to hold a grudge. They started it. And we have mutual embassies. I'm going to forgive them for spying. And the reason for that is, if he's now friendly, will he open his borders? Why won't you open borders? Oh, he does have open borders. That was it. We paid him off, didn't we? Yeah, so we do have open borders with him, so that's fine. Good. Next time we renew that agreement, it might be cheaper. So, Munich, what are we going to build here? Probably not an awful lot. Now, bear in mind, we do actually get additional gold now. We should get gold from the lighthouse. I thought that was one of the things we got with our social policy. Let me just check that. 1 gold for each harbour, seaport, or lighthouse. So we should get a gold for that, but I can't see where it says there. Is it worth having the shrine for 1 extra faith? No, probably not. So what I think we're going to do, as there's nothing here that's really worth building at the moment. I mean, I could build a lighthouse, but it seems pretty pointless. I suppose we could build the seaport. +1 production and gold from sea resources and 15% production when building naval units. Well, I'm not building naval units, and it's not currently working any sea resources. It will eventually have the fish, but until it does, this is kind of pointless. When's it going to... It is going to expand out there. When is it going to expand? In 4 turns. Okay, in that case then I will build the lighthouse. So we are going to build the lighthouse, because it gives us 1 food from coast and ocean tiles and 1 production sea resources, and we will have fish. We'll build a workboat when the lighthouse is done, and that will all work out very nicely as far as timing goes. You guys are going to do that. Now, we won't get the +1 production because, of course, we can't actually work that tile, but we will get the horses. So that's worth doing. Obviously, now you guys are just going to... You don't get the fortify icon because obviously they're in the city, so they're technically fortifying the city. We've got the worker here, and we're going to get you over to this city. First thing we're going to do, actually, is get you over there and get those dyes connected to the network. That would be the best thing to do. You guys are going to sleep until I find something useful for you to do. I forgive you. Let's keep friendly with them. You see, I'm in a position now where he's not that much of a problem. We're currently friendly. Yes, he's got some land that I would have liked to have had, but it's not all that useful. And we're at a point now where he can't really expand. Our borders are butt up against each other, so we'll just stick with the status quo. I have enough land to win a cultural victory. So we've got a great artist in Berlin. Carthage going to war with various city-states. So, great artist. Let's see if we can get him selected. Apparently we do have a great work slot, so let's go and pop that straight away. Current 24 tourism, now up to 26. And if we just actually have a look where that went, we don't have any other buildings that require a theming bonus at the moment, so don't need to worry too much about that. Now, Hamburg, let's remember, we have Oxford University here. And the theming bonus for this one was great works of writing from different eras and from a civilization other than the city owner. Well, we've got medieval Incan, so what we actually need is a different civ and not medieval, and we can swap the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. And I was in the right menu to begin with, so let's swap great works. So if we take our Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and the only one we can really swap them with is the Iroquois, because he's the only one that doesn't actually have something that is not medieval. And we're going to swap that. Ours was a Renaissance piece as well, and that's not too bad. And we're going to go back into this little menu here. And if we take this and place it here in Hamburg, we now get our bonus here as well. Now, obviously, we've probably got most of our culture modifiers here at Berlin, but we did just go up from 26 to 30, so it was definitely worth doing that. Hamburg has finished its observatory. Look at that now. Its science output is 108, has 133% modifier to its base total of science. So we could quite easily get another great scientist, and we probably will at some point. We're probably quite close somewhere to getting another great scientist, and we could just turn one of these farms or trading posts into another academy, and that would give us another stupid amount of science per turn. So that would be very, very nice. What are we going to build here? Well, the city's only outputting 13 gold, so building a Hansa probably isn't really all that useful. We don't have any trade routes from here. What we'll do, though, is we will build a garden, and that will give us a faster generation to great people. Still working on the Uffizi. 4 turns left for that one. What I really should do is build another cargo ship as well, actually. I mean, Berlin's my sort of fastest production, but there's not really a lot of point building there because I've got many wonders that I need to get built. So what I might actually do is build the cargo ship at, where are we? At Munich. Build the cargo ship here, and then I can just change where it's based. That would be the most sensible thing to do. Okay, so you guys have now finished up here. I don't think there's anything else up here that you can really upgrade. I am going to keep them, though, just for the time being. I'm going to put them to sleep. And the reason for that is if we expand into these hills, we might actually be able to build mines there for additional production. But, you know, we do have quite small population here. I mean, we're not working half of the mines anyway because we're concentrating on the hexes that give us food. I mean, what we could do is go totally production focus. But that actually puts us in starvation. So we would start to lose population, which is a little bit of a shame. Just trying to think if there's no hex there that we could work preferentially. Even if we didn't work one of the silvers and worked an extra food, still puts us in starvation. So yeah, there's not an awful lot we can do here to increase the state of things as far as food goes. At least I don't think there is. What could we have? Does anything here give us additional food? Aqueduct would give us better growth. But of course it wouldn't make any difference unless we were growing. So the lighthouse gives us extra food resources. Let's build a lighthouse there. That's doubled our food resources, which is brilliant because we now have 6.16. So if we go back to production focus or gold focus, gonna grow slowly. Let's stick on production focus now because it gives us a decent amount of gold and production. And actually, let me just unlock that tile and go back to... You don't need to be unemployed. Put you there. Brilliant. That'll do. That will do. Let's go on to the next turn. Should probably think about wrapping this video up again soon. But we're so close to being influential over our first civilization. Carthage lost its capital. Japan wants a mutual open borders. Gonna go with yes. It'd be nice. You see, he has some concerns about our warmongering. Now, I don't think he's going to be a problem to me. At least I hope he isn't. But we'll go for the mutual open borders. Maybe he will come around. So Carthage has lost its capital to Rome, as we can see now. We can actually see two. There's Carthage. Now belongs to the Romans. Okay, so World's Fair. Well, if we look here, we can see that 7 civilizations controlling 9 delegates unaccounted for. Our civilization controls 2 delegates, so we don't know how anybody's going to vote. Iroquois wants to embargo city-states. I can't see anybody going for that. So we're going to put all our votes into the World Fair. I think most other people will do the same thing, so we should be good with that. Munich has now finished its lighthouse. Was it the lighthouse? Yes, it was the lighthouse. So what we're going to do now is build a workboat. And then by the time that workboat is finished, this tile here will have popped, because that's going to happen on the next turn. You're going to build the plantation. Cargo ship will... Are we going to carry on with you? We were going to you because we were going to Machu because we were trying to spread our religion. Because Machu is the only Incan city that currently doesn't have our religion. Although they do have 24 pressure from us, and they already have 4 followers, so they could very well flip. Or is it only the capital that counts? Can't actually remember on that one. Let me just have a look at the influence by player. Oh yeah, obviously counts now. We do have a open borders, trade route, and shared religion. So look at some of the bonuses we've got against some of these people. Still popular with Carthage. Not that it matters, because Carthage might be getting wiped off the map soon. Popular with Japan. Popular with the Iroquois. So we're getting very close to already being influential over 3 other civilizations. Dido has made peace with Caesar, now that he's robbed off Rome. So China and Rome were working together to go after Carthage, and now he wants to go after... Now he wants to go after China. No. It says, your spies were caught trying to steal technology. They weren't caught trying. They actually stole and succeeded. But I'm not going to war with China, because that seems like a bit of a silly thing to do. We do need to try and avoid war as much as possible. Now, like I said, the reason I picked a civilization, the reason I picked cultural victory is it can be one of the more difficult ones. Bear in mind, I am actually playing on an easier difficulty. I mean, I know it's Prince, it's the mid one, but I find it quite easy. And there's a lot of people out there that already do domination victories, and I didn't want to just be the same. Although, you know, those games go on for ages because each move takes so long to do. So some interesting stuff's actually happened on this turn. A Chinese spy stole the secrets of the printing press from Berlin. Our counter spy is not doing a great deal of work there. We're going to let it slide again. I always tend to let the first one slide. After the second one, it will be a swift denunciation. Now, the World's Fair did pass, which was brilliant. Everybody said yes to that apart from Carthage. But what has surprised me is that city-states actually got embargoed with 3 votes from the Iroquois, the Japanese, and the Songhai. Now, that means I can't trade with city-states and I can't get my production bonus. Not the end of the world, but it's my turn to make a proposal. And there's nothing here really that I would particularly want to go for at the moment, except maybe cultural heritage sites, where each world wonder provides +3 culture in the city. Only one civilization would be angry if we proposed that. Each natural wonder provides 5 culture when worked. Well, I think, apart from Krakatoa, which is out in the middle of the ocean, all of the natural wonders actually belong to city-states. So I can either try and repeal this embargo, or I can go for the cultural heritage sites. Let's see if we can get the cultural heritage sites through. Probably won't, but we'll give it a go as well. You guys are going to go over there. So obviously this was the caravan that was trading before with a city-state. As you can see, now it cannot because they've been embargoed. So what I'm going to do... just thinking about this. Yeah, we'll send some food down to Hamburg for a while to give it a bit of growth. What I was considering doing there was actually just deleting the caravan and then freeing up another trade route which we could use to build a cargo ship. Now, what I want to do is actually start working on the World's Fair as soon as possible. That is something that I would very much like to come out as the winner. Right, who's he upset with? The vermin are breeding. Now I have to deal with both you and Carthage. Okay, very well. We will know. We won't renew our friendship with Carthage in the future, though. As you can see now, it's starting to get us some unwanted attention from Caesar. But that should expire quite soon. I need to check how long that's going to last. We've built the Uffizi. So let's just check on diplomacy, and we're going to look at the diplomatic overview, and we're going to look at global politics. Dido, friends with you, 25 turns left. Oh dear. Not a lot we can do about that, unless we decide to go to war with them. So choose production at Berlin. Well, I've already got 1 cargo boat. No, I haven't. I'm going to build the cargo ship at the other place. So what I'm going to do here, do I go for the Taj Mahal? It's only 1 culture. The 4 happiness is nice, but I don't need it. The Golden Age would be nice, but I'm going to get far more benefit from the World's Fair than I will anything else. So I think I've got to go for that. You workers are going to build a trading post. We have our great artist, and we do have a great work slot, so we're going to use them straight away. And that puts us up to 32. I don't think we have anywhere where we could put that great works that's going to improve anything for us. Now, what do we need for the bonus here? To maximize the bonus, great work slots are filled with art from the same era and civilization. Now, that can be tricky to do. Germany, Renaissance. Chances of us getting another German Renaissance piece of... German Renaissance. Whey, 6. There we go. That's put us up to 38. Brilliant. And an extra culture increase from that as well. So that's pretty much all I can do on that turn, and I'll probably end the video there. What I need to do next time is try and get some more cities working on the World's Fair, because I really, really want to come out first with that for some great benefits and bonuses. As you can see now, we do have that hex, so we're going to put our workboat, which will be ready next turn, on there and get the sea tile. Frankfurt's already starting to expand its borders and now has access to some fish as well. And obviously we need to get a worker over here, which we did build, or I believe we were planning to build. Did I not do it in the end? Thought I was going to build a worker there and obviously didn't. Could have swore I built a worker there. Oh well, okay. Oh yes, we did. The workers there, they're actually currently working on the dies. Of course they are. So that's what I'm going to be doing on the next video, and I think we are doing well. We'll just have one final quick look at the scoreboard there, just to see how we are doing on influence. And yeah, we seem to have a lot of pressure with a lot of people. We'll flip Carthage soon. We're popular. We'll flip the Iroquois soon, and the Japanese. And that'll be almost half of our opponents dealt with. So, as always, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. So until then, Goodbye for now.